Good sound check. My name's Lee Staten. Some of you know me. I'm one of the founders of Wonderfest from 28 years ago. And the talk, thanks. Now it's a huge village of people that are involved in putting on the show, and a few of them are here taking a break from their duties, because this talk today is, to me, it represents one of the reasons why we started doing the show. You all know that the Enterprise that we've been watching on television all these years is a model, like the models that we like to build. But it's a 50-year-old model. And some of us have seen it go through multiple restorations, some okay, some not okay. But this last year, it was restored very lovingly by a group of people who did it right and worked very hard to do it right. And I know that was also a village, much less like putting on the show. But we're very fortunate to have a few of the people here who did a lot of the hands-on model making work. There are other people that you'll see in the materials presented that were involved in researching it and x-raying it and doing all kinds of other parts to the job. We're very honored to have them here. Besides restoring the Enterprise, these folks have extensive careers in movie making through Industrial Light and Magic mostly, but elsewhere as well. And they probably represent almost all the movies we've loved over the last 30 years. And so their talk today is going to be about the Enterprise, but they're also going to go into some other things that I think you're going to love and enjoy. So I don't want my introduction to chew up their time, because we're very lucky to have them. As I keep telling you, we're just delighted. And so I want to introduce, if we're ready to pull our panel together, John Goodson, Bill George, Kim Smith, and we also have two of the research folks involved in this project, Gary Kerr and Rick Sternbach. And I'm handing over the microphone because we don't have enough to go around.
Here's the story. I put this thing together, my first ever PowerPoint presentation. So
before we get started,
yes.
Gary, I just have to say something. I don't know if you guys all know this guy, but this project could not have happened without him. Amazing, obsessive person, which I probably don't understand. But we called him the Oracle. Everything we did had to pass through him. We wanted it to be completely accurate, and this guy had all the answers, well, most of the answers for everything.
If I didn't know
we got
the answer,
into
I'd make it
some
up.
spirited debates about certain things, and he was almost always right.
Almost?
We actually call him the Oracle.
Okay, well here goes nothing. Hit the lights, I guess.
You got it.
Okay, this is where the Enterprise was born in the latter months of 1964.
Why don't you give him the remote? Give him the remote mic.
Okay. This is. I've never done this before.
Pretend
it's a universal translation. That's better. Okay. Now this is where the Enterprise was born. The top photo came from Stephen and Mel Keyes. Mel Keyes is one of the guys who works at the production model shop. He's still alive and lives with his son, Stephen. And they supply some of these pictures people haven't seen before. The top one is how it looked back in the 60s. And today, all that's left is a core building with the country's largest IKEA store behind it. They tore down half of the Burbank there, I think, to build that store. But the building is still there. Okay, and this is from their collection. This is scanned off one of the original photos they had. That's Richard Dayton on the left, who supervised it. Vern Sion, Melky's in the yellowy orange shirt, and that is the inset is what's his name?
Vern.
Oh yeah, Vern.
Vern. Sawyer.
Sawyer. Yeah.
Sawyer, isn't it? Well, Vern Sawyer, or is it Sloyer?
Sion. No.
Vern.
It's Vern.
Vern.
I've never done this before. Okay, next slide. There's another angle on the Enterprise. You can see a number of things that are different. The intercoolers here, basically an off-white color. They photograph is white. A lighter gray in the center here of the cell trench. White on the intercoolers, white on the turbo lift shaft. And for many, many years, we were wondering what is going on here. At first they thought it was a shadow maybe, but then years later, when we found out what was going on, you'll see that in a while. Next. Okay. As went through time after they got done with the production, this is Craig Thompson. He worked at Paramount for a while, and he was working at Golden West College in California someplace. And they were going to have space. Arthur Clarke was going to be their main speaker, so he put in a call to his friends at Paramount, and they sort of loaned him the shuttlecraft, the Enterprise, and some other models from other shows around. But he sort of put it all together, and this is the first time it had actually been lit up since the initial time. What happened was the deflector dish was gone, and the lights were all burned out, so he had to get a hold of one of the college kids in the theater arts. And he went to his parents' garage, pulled out the Christmas lights, refilled all the lights here, and got everything working. Okay, and next. Okay, now we're jumping into 1991. This is just before the 92 restoration. I vaguely knew Ed Mayarecki, and so I just kind of invited myself out there when he was going to do the restoration. And Richard Schaefer, my site teacher, he came along with me. I say, even in its dilapidated state, it still looked mighty darn cool, I thought. Okay. Okay. This is nerd heaven here. Oh God, I was good looking. 3 days there with the Enterprise, the Klingon battle cruiser, the Tholian ship, just playing with them. It was fun. Taking measurements. If I only knew at the time how important those would be, because the time Next Gen was the big thing, and that's just old relics, so I wanted to get measurements of it anyway. Next. Okay. Yes, this is the Smithsonian here. It was on display downstairs in the gift shop, because that's the only spot they had for it, otherwise I'm sitting in a crate. And then the problem was, back then, well, this model, everybody says it's not built to last for 50 years. So one big problem was the secondary hull, the barrel stays basically built around bulkheads and glued together. And the glue was failing, cracks were appearing, and bad things were going to happen. So that's a great idea and excuse for a restoration. Next. Okay, this is the Brady Bunch here. Yes, Adam Schneider up here. He was like one of the head movers. He wanted to just finance the restoration, but they said, no, you can't do that. So he worked with Margaret Weidekamp at the museum and assembled all these other characters who might have something to know about the stuff. I had helped him work on the Galileo restoration, so I was in there, and John Sitters, he's with CBS, who iron out a lot of difficulties, make things happen, and you know everybody else here. So next. Okay, they did fly us all out there in May of 2015 to just have our one and only in-person meeting. This is the Igor Hazy Center, which is on the south end of Dulles Airport. And I mean, if you haven't been there, just go. It is enormous. They have everything you ever want to see there. Yeah, full-size shuttle there. I mean, you cannot grasp the size of that. It looks fine on TV, but to get in person, it's like bigger than a house. It's enormous. You could not pay me enough to go up there. So Okay, there's one of our exciting meetings. Everybody brought show and tell, so we could do our thing. We went around the table. And there's Margaret here. Mike Kuda gave her a chunk of broken glass. And that happened to come from one of the dilithium mines in Star Trek 6. And so she became overclimped. And we knew she's one of us. So, and that's why we got to the gallery at the downtown museum. So, because Margaret is, you know, these people, I don't know what it is, they are all really, really nice and really scary smart. So really fun working with them. Okay, this is here, we were waiting for our big moment. They wanted to have the film crew inside their restoration lab and film us walking through the door and say, oh, it is the Enterprise. But, yeah, yes. So I tried to see how the camera arranged. We're all waiting in the hallway. And here we all are. There's all the characters. This here is Ariel O'Connor. She was one of the conservators there. Really smart, you know, full of energy, just when we weren't. But she specialized in some kind of it's like Chinese ancient armor or something. You know, she also does starships. Okay, and then it's on a little mobile car here, and after the crew left, we all gave himself a ride, pushing down the hall. It was a lot of fun. Okay, there's even all painted up like that. It still looks like that pretty. Okay. Here's Kate Margaret and consulting with Ariel here. And here we have a dish that John Goodson had.
Autodesk. Well, Gary had developed a CG model of the dish that we were looking at reflections and everything, trying to dial it in exactly. So took that model, took it to Autodesk, and they very kindly printed us a 3D version we could take and actually just hold up with the model. A sort of initial look at what it would be like, and then we revised that model further.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never stop revising things. Okay. That's Malcolm Coll. He's the boss at Uber Center, another Trek fan. And there's Probert there. He was doing 3D scanning. Okay, there's Ariel. That's the John's dish, only place there. All this, everything was wrong here. I'll show that later. Okay. I had earlier sent, I think, 16 PDF files of all the rollout, first, second pilot, and production versions of the Enterprise, as best I knew it, what color schemes and everything. And they put those out on display, but all those are wrong, so if you have pictures of them, throw them away. Okay, A Boy and His Toys. What was that scanner? What could that have been inspired by? I don't know. Okay, go ahead. Okay, and here's our little family photo for the Christmas album here. It's Ariel, Rick, Adam, Schneider, Margaret, the Kudas, and Malcolm, John Goodson, and John BC as they call him, and Probert. So anyway, after we got home, I had to start making some plans to tell the island people what to build. Those plans have gotten worse since. It's like, oh God, I'm a sick person. Okay, go ahead. And this just shows we had access, finally, some really good photos. And I was able to, like, oh, I don't know, I finally got the size of the rings and the curvature of the dish. And what could happen, and if it comes out like even fractions of an inch, you probably got it, because that's how people build stuff. So I finally got a good one. I first built the pilot grid, or the pilot dish, and then cut it down to the production version. Okay. Bill, what is this?
Well, it really does take a village. My brother works in an electronic assembly plant, and I sent him Gary's plans for the deflector spike, and so my brother turned it out of aluminum, and this is the machine they used. And one interesting fact is, when you look at what was missing on the model, it was all things that were made of acrylic. The two engine nacelle caps, the bridge dome, the phaser dome, and the dish. And I think it's because it's a really crappy material. It's super brittle, and those things kind of stick out. So John and I tried to convince them to make the new dish out of aluminum, just because it would, I mean, it's getting painted anyway, who cares? But they really wanted it to be as authentic as possible, so that one's made of acrylic. And you made an extra, didn't you, or do we just have the one?
Well, the guy who did it is a guy named Dan Petrascu, who's a machinist locally where I am. And it gave Dan the drawings, and he used the CNC, but he also did a lot of it by hand. And it was interesting because with it being acrylic, he had to machine an aluminum receiver for this thing to fit into. And the first one, he got it right down to the last part. He's just doing the last filing on it, and it's just it just momentarily shattered and exploded. But it took him 2 weeks to make that one, so he remade it. But I mean, it's so delicate and it's so thin because it's like 80 thousandths or something like that. It's really thin and really difficult to do. But yeah, Dan machined the thing and did a beautiful job. But boy, what a pain.
Okay, so oh, there's the lathe in action working on it, and there's the finished dish. Okay, and I was also trying to figure out what some of these silly things on the high-res photos were, because even if they're high-res, you've got an 11-foot-long spaceship. Something a quarter-inch long is not really going to show up all that well. So I was spent days wandering the hardware stores and trying to see what would look like both in the pictures. And turns out that the nacelles were held on by brass cabinets. Apparently grass was big back then. A lot of things were made out of grass. And so I had to draw those on. There's in person. I mean, everything is lots smaller in person than it appears in any photos or drawings. They're tiny. I thought it was in a lot of the pictures. Okay, now the little tiny. Where are they here? There we go. Those little tiny fake nav lights, we knew they could not be realized because there's really nothing there to tip the nail on. So I went around and a friend of Greg Jean's, very expert on tricorders and such, suggested I'm overthinking things. Why not, just little tiny brass grommets there, and get some furniture tacks from England, and you push them in, paint them up, and they look just like what's in the little blurry photos. Okay, and for recreating the markings on the thing, it's been through multiple restorations over the years, so you never know what got changed. So we got some better photos here, and I did adjusting all over the place, and found that, again, you're getting nice fractions of inches and everything. And so I use this to draw the final templates that I used to paint with. Okay, and the bottom, okay, well, there's a story I'll know that later, but yes, the bottom dome on the saucer here. At the production version, being this little tiny nibble thing, we had no idea what it was. Doug Drexler, who had gone to the museum in '77 with a poster book photos, he said that there was a red, little tiny ring of wheat ball hanging from some wires. And so then we get the pictures out and say, okay, it's like a little barrel with a little red whatever on it. And it worked. It's visible in a few photos. You can slide the thing in and out. Some photos it's like all the way in, sometimes it's all the way out. But it must have been a good idea at the time because they never used it. So whatever. Okay. Okay, there's a little scrub version. I had a casting of the housing there, so that's helped, line break and everything. Okay.
Well, For the restoration, there were some things like a green and wheat bulb obviously is going to burn out, and it was something that John will talk about later with the engine effects. We had to make sure that it was archival as well. So originally I thought that we would replace the green and wheat with an LED. Ultimately what happened was the light from inside, I just beveled the back of the acrylic rod and the light kind of transferred on its own. So that's just, instead of using a light bulb, I took the acrylic rod, put some epoxy on it, try to make it look like that old-fashioned, that old tiny light bulb, because that's what Gary had spec'd, and then just dipped it in some transparent red paint. So that's how that was created. And there it is in all its direct glory.
And that's the inside and outside view there. And there's another view of it. And another. Okay, now we had to do all the markings over again, and Rick came up with the best match font. So he was doing the frescoes for the painting and for the accounts, both. So being an insane person, like that's only a quarter-inch right there. I had to get the lettering. This is referenced by AutoCAD overlay of one of my photos from '91. So I did all the letters lined up correctly, and just to make sure everything's correct. But, this stuff is like I said, way smaller than you think. It's only 3/4 of an inch across here, and those letters are like small. Okay, and then as we went along, they're building the display case, and so I got a call, and it's like, we need to know where to drill the holes. So I had to figure where the center of the ship was, and then you go out. Here's the, so you can space it in the case, and here's the main support here, and then they wanted another one back here, so they need to space it between the little marking there and the fantail scallop. And then you had the original hole was offset. So the model was slightly tilted off to the port side. So then you have to take that into account, and then I just told them, okay, move there, and apparently it worked. So I'm glad. Okay, Rick, you want to do this?
Testing. Okay. Well, you know, I thank Gary up and down and sideways for all of his CAD measurements. You know, we had some nice discussions about letter spacing, and I was more of the opinion that, you know, you should just let the computer handle the spaces between the letters and that sort of thing. So I don't remember the exact font for those little tiny placards, but I was able to compare like 10 different fonts that looked close, and finally found one that just nailed it. A friend of mine in Texas still had an Alps printer, okay? And I will throttle Alps for killing the technology, you know, because we just loved it. So he was able to make a couple of sheets of the small placards, coated those with Microscale's liquid decal film, you know, got them nice and protected, and got those shipped off to Overhazy. You know, I was also involved in some of the larger numbers and letters and some of the vinyl masks, but I'm following Gary's, CAD measurements, and yeah, a couple of things changed along the way, but you know, when it came time to actually cut vinyl and get some real, honest to God, silk screening done, you know, we got it done and shipped out, and I just went, phew.
Those letters are, you know, 0.06 of an inch tall, and you know, you can't even read them, so. But if you make it time enough, you can see. It's neat.
So when John, Kim, and I were asked to put in a proposal for repainting or doing the detail painting on the model, it's something that we don't normally do. We work in film production and we work on a model, but we knew that this was a very, very important and expensive artifact. So one of the things we wanted to do was create, and we put this into our proposal, was to create kind of stunt sections that we could work on, we could paint. Also, we were a little bit concerned about the whole committee thing, that they would be concerned about us actually doing some testing on the model. So we created an engineering section, and then John created the engines. And those we used just to slap paint on to kind of check colors, that kind of thing. So it was our stunt stand-in, so we would establish our colors and look before we applied them to the Precious model. And that's what this is. I'm building this in my garage. It's amazing. Super crude and quick. Go to the next one. So that's the engineering section and John's engines on the back. Looks pretty funky. But what was great was in the area that was here in the restoration hangar, it was visible to the public, and I'm sure there were a lot of shocked people that walked by.
That was the funny thing, was with the engines, I actually put the domes on the front, and I painted them so they looked bright. And they had that out in the restoration hangar, and people were seeing it on the tour, where you could look down, and they thought it was the actual model. And eventually they had to take that stuff off because people were freaking out thinking it was the actual Enterprise. It was not, but they were near. Yeah.
Does anybody know what the actual wood was for the original? The actual wood, the wood they used for the original. Does anybody know what that was?
I think it's poplar. I've got some in my basement. Never mind. Let's move along to the next slide. Okay. This is back. I made several trips out there again to the museum. I was doing checking out the Enterprise C model with a friend. We go see James Colley's sets at Ticonderoga, which you have to go to if you've not been there. It's worth the drive, or flight, or whatever. So we drove past here, and Larry Berger, he's one of the two lighting guys, was testing out what they were going to light the thing with. And it's like little mini LEDs. It's like basically like a old color TV, and they like tune the color, the brightness, intensity, the whole shebang. So he was just testing out some stuff here. And there's Richard Schaefer in the background. Yes. And we're working on the landing lights essentially. Okay. And here we're trying to light up the bridge, which I don't know if you've noticed, but the bridge had an issue. The paint was peeling off of it. And so I got some photos of it, and I think you can see it better in another photo, but they basically laminated blocks of wood together and then lathed it. I think I got a better picture later. Okay. On the bottom, you got a plexiglass disc. I was glued to that, and I didn't notice this till the other day. That's the two holes here that hold the thing down. They had a hole here and a hole there that were bonded over. That's what held down the original pilot disc and the bezel around it. But I was looking, and it's like, look right here. There's the side light where it goes in, but right there, it's a cutout, because on the second pilot, when they added the lights to the thing, they cut a windshield in the front of the taller bridge. But apparently they cut also openings on the side, but then they blocked it back up and hugged it over before any filming was done. It's like moving too far.
Change their mind.
Okay, now at this point, earlier they had done lots of microscopic core samples to see the types of paints, lacquer, shellacs, and everything. But it was getting crunch time, and they had to get some real colors. So Malcolm had asked me, tell me what the colors are. Tell me where to sand. He likes to sand. So I said, the best guesses were to do it. They sanded it, and they did find all the original colors. There's the off-white here, right there. The yellow was actually a lighter color, and the red was darker. And in fact, it was filmed in the '60s. You're looking at it on a really crude resolution, black and white TV, probably, maybe a color if you're lucky. But nobody's going to notice all these subtle shades of grays and everything, so they had very few colors to the thing. It was all color, then like 3 levels of gray trim to most of everything. Oh, look at me, where I am at work, matching colors. Okay. Now This is the inside of the hangar bay level on the roof of the thing. It's a teal green piece of plexiglass. I got the number someplace, but they just drilled holes in it. Acrylic rods, but guys are beat on the end of